Good afternoon to everybody. I'd just like to discuss the RAM catalogue now with you. You can see this is our new catalogue, and I think it gives us excellent information. It gives you can see the sheep, you can see everything that you need on the catalogue, and you can even go in on SA Small Stock. If you take a photo of that, then it will take you straight to SA Small Stock and you can get more information. But here is a lot of information on this. What I'd just like to point out to you is, first look, here are the RAMs information themselves. So there's the reproduction values, there's the growth index, and there's a combination of the two more or less, and that is called your logic merit index. So have a look at those. What I want you to bear in mind is these are all young rams, so they haven't got much information. They've got very little. They haven't been used yet. So your reproduction values are the accuracies. Just look how low it is. But they've been weighed, especially for wean and post-wean. So there we've got some nice high accuracy. So you can start trusting those growth figures and take note of them. If they're below average, you're going to get below average weight. If they're above average, you're going to be getting above average weight because the figures are already trustworthy. But you can't trust these figures, especially these of 27 to 32%. This ram must first start breeding. His mother must have more lambs. His father must have more ewe lambs, which are lambing. So these figures always come much later than your growth figures, because these, as soon as the sheep is weaned, he's already getting his first weight. Yeah, we've got to wait for his mother, for his sisters. Everything's figures to first start coming in so that we can get higher accuracy there. For the rest, I'll also try and give you an important information of who the lamb was bred out of. And for instance, this one here, we can see the mother had this lamb at 12 months, which I think is very important to know, because with us, our sheep really have a hard time. These ewes at lamb at 12 months, and this is the lamb that she had at 12 months. They haven't grown out as well as some of the others have grown out, simply because the mother was very young when she had him. They was just out on the veld. She had a hard time. She was only a lamb herself still, and then she had to still be rearing the sheep. So have a look at that. Further, we have a look, and I don't try and hide anything from you people. Here you can see poorer figures, and here's something, unfortunately it's now in Afrikaans, but it says it's a ram with a good conformation, but it could have a better covering. I'm not happy with the covering of the sheep, so I say it to you in the catalogue, and you can have a look at it and decide for yourself, do you want it better? Many of you aren't at the sale and you can't see this on a photo, so now I say it so that you can take note of it. So then we come to another sheep, for instance, and that is this little ram. Yeah, he's got good figures and everything, average to above average. But yet I also say he's not a bad looking little ram, but he's got poorer, swakker kootgewrigte, which means he's got weaker pasterns. Maybe you can't see it on a photo, but I say it to you that you know, if you buy this ram perhaps just over the internet or something, or you have to sale and you buy him, have a look at it. I'm not trying to hide anything from you. We are telling you exactly what we saw in the animal to try and help you to make a better decision on what you buy. Wherever we go, yeah, we're with Zondo, for instance, as I pointed out, look at all the young rams, where their accuracy lies for reproduction figures, where it lies for growth figures. So you can trust their growth figures, but you can't trust that. Look at the mothers, interlambing periods, age of first lamb, the ewe production indexes, amount of lambs they had, the amount of lambs they weaned. Look at those figures. Just always bear in mind, our sheep really have tough conditions. They don't get any licks, they get nothing. They expect to, they're born on the veld, they live on the veld, they mated on the veld, they rear their lambs on the veld. So you can get figures twice as good as this, but with no better genetics, simply because you are feeding your sheep more than what we are feeding them. So just bear that all in mind. Now we get to one of the older rams. I think one of our better rams that we've ever put on a sale. It's Zondo. You can have a look now at his figures, and you see they're all pretty high. 129, 121, 130. They're not pretty high. That is absolutely excellent. Then you have a look and you see, okay, their interlambing period's a bit low, but it's only at 50% accuracy. So I can't trust that figure yet. Here I can start trusting the age first lamb, total weaning weight, and number of lambs weaned. I can start trusting these indexes. They're getting to a high rate. I can absolutely trust his growth figures and his maternal growth figures. Just look at the high accuracy there. So I can, with all accuracy, tell you his lambs are going to be heavier at wean. His lambs are going to be heavier at post-wean. And then that's looking very good as far as reproduction is concerned as well. That's why the reproduction index is already so high. So this is a ram that has proven himself, not just with the quality of lambs. His first lambs are really coming on the sale now. You'll see them. We've also kept 4 of his ram lambs for ourselves for use in the future, which we had to take off the sale. Well, they haven't been put on the sale, but we've kept them for ourselves. You can also see he has one of a twin, and his twin brother was sold for 100,000. You very seldom, if ever, will get a ram that looks like this, breeds like this, and still comes out with so much fertility. So there I tell you everything. I'm prepared to back this ram with my reputation and say to you, he is going to breed very well for you. So you can go through all of them. Yes, perhaps a ram that I can just mention. You'll see there are about 50 of them where I say stud ram or stoet ram. As we go through them, these are still rams we all use. Let me get to the younger rams, which we haven't used yet. Yeah, we're coming. That's a ram that went to Uppington, so he's a bit older still than the others. He had an abscess and is coming back. You see, we say all these things so you know exactly what goes on with every sheep. That's one. Yeah, we're coming to the young rams now. Now, if I say stoet ram or stud ram, I'm looking at all the information available to me. You can have a look at it yourself. You can look at the pedigree. You can see what the mother's bred. You can have a look at the indexes. As I say, those are a bit low, but you can see these are that are getting a bit higher in accuracy, are getting better and better. Those figures there cannot be trusted. These you can just start looking at, but you cannot trust them. But these growth figures you can definitely start trusting in the young ram lambs as well. So there he is. So he's got good growth figures there. He's coming out of good parentage all the way. The fathers, the sires, everything is good. So I say a stud ram with a strong head, a long body with a beautiful presence, mooi houding on him, very good combination of all his features, and he's a twin from a Zondo. He's a Zondo ram lamb, and he was one of a twin out of a very good Lucky Strike daughter with excellent figures. If I say stud ram, I mean it's a ram that I'm prepared to have used in my stud. But I can only use so many, and I can only use 1 or 2 from every bloodline, because we have 7 bloodlines that we have to have representatives of every time. So often now we have better rams from our good bloodlines, which are coming onto the sale, and that are very much better than rams that we've kept for ourselves from other bloodlines. But there are just so many more good rams out of those bloodlines. So you have about 50 of these that I say are stud rams. Please look at them. You can rest assured that I've looked at them. I've looked at their figures. I've looked at everything. I've decided I'm very happy with what I see. And I've looked at the ram himself, and I don't see problems with him. And then I say it's a stud ram, and you can look at him for stud breeding purposes. It's a ram that I assure you we would have been prepared to use as well. Then you'll find little rams like this one, yeah, where I'll say, okay, he's just got a strong head, and he's higher and more leggy than some of the other rams on the sale. So I don't say anything good about him or bad about him. He's a nice ram, he's well made, but he's a bit more leggy, but he hasn't quite got the figures that some of the other rams, which I say are stud rams, he hasn't quite got the nice composition of body that some of the other rams. Still very good for commercial use, high quality commercial use, very good for that kind of use. And if there's anything wrong with the ram, rest assured, here I again say a stud ram with strong head and excellent covering. You can see this beautiful covering this ram's got. You can see the good amount of fat that this ram's got. I say good combination. Chief Ram Lamb out of a very good Lucky Strike daughter again. So the figures are good, the ram looks good. I say I will look at this ram for a stud ram in my own use. You can feel satisfied, he won't let you down. As I say, there are about 50 of them on the sale, and there's probably about only 15 or so rams that I'd have told you I see something wrong with them here, there, or somewhere. As I say, that I've got to say, look out, look, make sure that you notice this, have a look at it. The others, all good rams. There's another stud ram. You can see there are plenty of them. Here's a twin Churchill ram lamb. I'll say out of an excellent Fat Magic mother, but I haven't recommended him for stud purposes. I see there's a bit of fat perhaps gathering around the tail. That might be the reason, but an excellent ram for commercial use that will breed you excellent slaughter lambs and stuff. So a very, very good ram to buy still, but just not for stud breeding purposes. I hope you've enjoyed all this extra information and enjoy our new catalogue, and that it all helps you to make a better choice for yourselves. And if you can't come to the sale, that you can also make a very good decision based on all the very good information we are able to give you. So if there are any further questions, don't hesitate to email us or to contact us, and we can help you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.